guys, it's Colin with Ghost Train Comics and continuing on our Energon Universe, Energon Emerging series that we're doing. We have reached the point of Volume 4 of Daniel Mora Johnson and Jorge Corona and Friends, Conquer and Control. This one has few different people on it. Daniel Mora Johnson does do 5 pages of art on this. Ludo Lullabi does some art. Jorge Corona, of course, Mike Spicer, and Adriano Lucas, and good old Russ Wooten as letterer on this one too. Andres Suarez doing the design as well, keeping it real, keeping it on the unified design set we've had since the start of the series. And that's been matching up with the other Energon collected editions. It does cover Transformers 19 to 24 and a story from the Energon Universe special 2025. It is the end of an era. It is for sure definitely the passing of a very special moment in comics, and with the end of Daniel Mora Johnson's run on this title. And talk about going out with a bang. The volume opens on an interesting little set of a band of Autobots jamming as in musical performance on Cybertron, and then Jazz hears a noise signal. It's a fun moment. It definitely takes more into the character and into the lighter side and into that lore kind of side. You could tell DWJ's enjoying it, and he's definitely wringing the last few moments out of it, all of which becomes more apparent through other things that happen in this volume. But nice to start off in a light interlude and flashback. Jazz hears this weird noise that he picks up, and Prime basically tells him to shut it off because it's annoying. That one will come back later on. The Megatron's trial storyline was an interesting quirk. This is something that apparently has been going on for years, the kind of back and forth on Megatron's changing into a handgun, which was just odd to begin with, and then it was iffy because it was a toy, and they didn't want it to look like a handgun. The kids might encourage kids to get into a loaded weapon that might have been around, etc., etc. There's also the multiple aspects that he could change into that they kind of shifted away from without ever explaining. So this is DWJ's kind of attempt to explain it. Be curious as to the conversation with Hasbro around that. But it does lead to a storyline, Megatron having to do trials, rewarding him with a new shape. And then it brings us into the present with Megatron and Astro Train having a pretty one-way confrontation, which reinforces and reminds us of Megatron's core beliefs and point of view of a basic and cruel, self-centered philosophy, followed by an interlude with the soldiers who've taken Ultra Magnus and talking about a, cruel, self-centered philosophy. In their case, it's more survivalist possibly, but also it's showing how much more in common with the Decepticons the human side has. Following check-in with the Autobots not just keeps the momentum going, but starts to build towards the inevitable conflict we can all see coming between Megatron and Optimus, which works so much better with the focus having been on Optimus Prime and his little band of plucky Autobots, as well as the Cybertron crew fighting separate fight over there with a couple of crossover points. But with Megatron having been absent since the beginning, it's definitely a refreshing. It's a nice touch because DWJ, obviously having grown up with this and that constant kind of Megatron Prime conflict going on and on and on. It could have been repetitive and obvious, so it was nice the fact that he leaned into everything else and built it up before reintroducing Megatron. Prime's conversation with his colleagues and with Spike is revealing in that he's open and honest with everyone. He also expresses doubts and asks what is the point of it all, as opposed to Megatron, who never doubts, but just gets angry when challenged, never able to grow beyond the place that he's in. Spike's words acting as an inspiration to Prime is a great moment of honest optimism, and it again underscores the differences between the two Cybertronian factions involved here. Seeing all the other legacy characters like Jetfire come back into it is an ongoing delight. The positive, fun, and celebratory fan service moments do continue a little bit here with the legacy flyers returning. Spike's awe here is infectious when he says they're all jet planes, and you can imagine little kids getting a kick out of all the different types of Transformers when they originally landed, and indeed any kid down through the years since G1 first dropped up to the very kind of... On a similar fashion, Cliff's convo with the newly created Shredhead is fantastic as well, as he transforms into Carly's van and seeks to go rescue her, with Cliff's comments about her being small but encouraging him to see his greatness, contrasting again with Megatron's pointless, cruel treatment of Starscream, as well as the humans who start to torture Ultra Magnus. The already fast-moving action speeds up with the Decepticon attacks and the 14 million things that are happening at once. Prime's physical state, the arc vanishing, all lead to a moment of, confusion as well as excitement and tension. The Cybertronian switch up with Shredhead and then Spike's intervention happen very, very quickly on top of each other. Plus, another moment of Megatron being a cruel asshole. So at least if nothing else, he's consistent. This is pure high-octane burn comics, as addictive as fatty fried fast food on a Friday night after going out drinking. So hard to step away from this volume at any point. There's no boring B or C story here as well. It's just full throttle all the way, with character moments incorporated into it so well that you don't even notice it slowing down for a second to kind of check in on the Spike or the Carly storyline, or the flashbacks merging in well without slowing it down or without throwing you off of the main kind of plot momentum. We reach a turning point with Spike attempting to merge with the Matrix to save Optimus, who is on the verge of death. The Ultra Magnus storyline here with Carly and Colonel Flag then switches on, and that one takes over, and that one moves along with another human, again contrasting the Autobot Decepticon thing and showing that not all humans are just transactional, folks like the military ones who may be given the excuse of genuinely trying to understand the threat that these beings represent. But clearly some of them are enjoying the torture or enjoying the usage of the Cybertronians a little bit too much. We arrive at a last stand situation as Prime is stuck in a vision of ancient Cybertron and the Decepticons close in for a climactic battle. DWJ leans heavily into classic lore here, pushing a few buttons and with an extraordinary literal deus ex machina, the Greek tragic play plot device for a god and a machine showing up at the end of the play to quicken plot resolution, but also considered traditionally something of a cheat, as it wasn't events resolving things naturally or you couldn't have figured it out yourself and gotten the joy of, oh, I was right, or it did go the way I thought it would. But in this case, it actually fits really well, because it does tie in with the earlier prelude piece from Starscream's origin, and it's a very poignant, touching moment with what happens at this point. And it echoes Carly's confrontational conversation with Starscream just a little bit before the event that happens, and I won't spoil it. I'll let you enjoy the reveal as you turn the page and see what happens. But there is a lot of echoes and resolving of circular plot and character points here. The final battle with Prime and Megatron, for the moment, is brutal, fast, and with great minimalist but effective dialogue. This could have dragged on for a long time and just been pointless or boring, and it could have been shortcut so that it wasn't enjoyable. I think DWJ strikes the right balance here between how long it goes on for, what we get out of it, and the actual experience itself. This volume definitely gives Grant Morrison last 5 issues of his run on Animal Man vibes, with really satisfying denouement and great character arc endings. Well, the ending for DWJ anyway. For Kirkman and Dan Mora coming on and starting with issue 25 and with volume 5 that I'll be looking at, one can see the challenge of picking things up from here and marching forward with it. What an amazing journey it's been with these first 24 issues and all of these incredible characters. We'll be doing G.I. Joe Buck 2 next, and then Void Rivals 5 before coming back for that new beginning with Generation 1 with indeed Robert Kirkman and Dan Mora. And I hope that you guys will be staying with us. But as always, if you like it, please hit a like. If you want to keep up with what else we have coming up, then please hit the subscribe button. Leave your comments, let me know how you're enjoying it, and anything else that you would like to see us cover. But again, guys, thank you so much for staying with us for these Transformers reviews, and hopefully you'll be with us for the rest of the Energon playlist. Thank you so much, enjoy, and stay safe.